All right, hey guys, OFD checking in here on a Sunday night, and really excited to be bringing you another MTM Special Ops watches. Now, this watch is on tour. It got started by Scott over at Watches Galore. Been to a number of the regular channels, so I will leave a link to all the good guys on the tour that we've got for this watch out there. But really excited to be taking a look at this. MTM is one of those companies that makes definitely different and special watches. I mean, you know, they're called special ops watches and stuff like that. The owner of the company does kind of have his fingers in the military and tactical community and stuff like that. Has been involved in the past and currently still has his fingers involved and talks to people as far as the development of the watches and stuff like that. So getting that said and getting that out of the way, let's go ahead and open this box. Now, they all come in these really cool tactical boxes, but let's go ahead and take a look at what we have here tonight. Now, the first one I reviewed was the Hypertech. I think it was the Hypertech 2, and that was a really cool watch. But this one is the this one is called the Gray Falcon, and this watch is just so cool. It has so many really, really neat and impressive features to just kind of show you guys. So let's go ahead and dive into that now. So what we have here, guys, is a tactical watch, and it's designed with lights inside of it. Exactly, lights. It has multiple different light functions, and I'll get into that here in a minute. The watch is super robust and super tough. As a matter of fact, there's a link at their website, and there's a YouTube video out there of I think it was an auto show or something like that in Germany, where they took one of these MTM Falcons and they strapped to the tire of a Jeep and drove it off-road through water, mud, rocks, and stuff like that, and then took it off, and the watch performed flawlessly. So it was really impressive to see that. So you've got a 44 millimeter case from side to side on this watch. I'll go ahead and measure that out for you guys. I didn't actually measure that. I grabbed that from their site. Whoa, this has got to be off here. Let's go ahead and, let's go ahead and zero that out. Okay, go ahead and side to side minus the crown. It's actually coming in closer to 45 is what I'm getting. Now, lug tip to lug tip on this watch, you're looking at a 52.4, so it is a big, big watch. And I'll try to get, it's got a thickness of 14.6. I'm sure that a lot of that size has to do with the lighting system and stuff like that in this watch. As you guys can see, it has what I'd consider like a carbon fiber dial on it with really nice, distinct indices there. You guys have the Arabic numbers there. They're split in half there at the 12, the 4, and the 8. That's because those are actually super bright, like flashlight, like torch lights. So they're super bright. This is a Quartz model, obviously, and the movement on this watch, just off the top of my head, I'm actually trying to look over here at the paperwork, and it does not really, for me, specify what the movement is in this watch. So we'll kind of have to dive into that. I'll try to look that up and leave it in the comments down below. But most likely it's going to be like a Ronda 715 or something like that, or a Japanese movement, most likely with a end-of-life indicator for a watch like this. So 100 meters water resistance on this watch. You do have a 120 click bezel. You probably didn't think that had a rotating bezel just by looking at the watch, but it does. Very nice and functional. As you guys can see on the track here on the inside, this minute track, you do have it red up to the 20-minute mark for diving or any kind of things you're timing like that. Nice baton style hands. These are loomed, so I'll get a loom shot at the end. It's kind of here nor there because of the lighting system on this watch, but the loom is good on the watch. So I'm going to go ahead and pull it off the pillow here and show you guys some more of the neat features these MTM watches have. Now, as you guys can see, these are actually Allen bolts that go all the way through the case and screw these straps on. These straps, you can't just switch this out like a standard NATO strap, the way they're actually stitched together and stuff like that. The only way you can get them off is taking these bolts out, because it's not, they don't want it to be a watch that your strap can come off or anything like that. They're mission built, and they don't want the watch coming off your wrist or anything like that because of a sloppy system like that. Allen bolts, as you guys can see here and here, you can actually screw the crown down. I wouldn't suggest doing that because it's going to be tough to unscrew most likely unless you have that Allen bolt, but it is actually all functional. That all works. So the strap on these, like I said, this is a factory strap, super sturdy buckle. This carbon or this black finish here. I'm not exactly sure what this finish is on here. Ion plated or something like that. Very nice stitching. It's not super thick. It's very nice and pliable, as you guys can see, but where it needs to be thick, it's double stitched and stuff like that. So on the thicker parts of the band, you have the double stitching. It's nice and sturdy, but where you want it to kind of flex and move on your wrist, they've left it thin there where it feeds through the case. Now, without taking the strap off, we'll try to get a look at the case back on this watch. It's going to be kind of tough to do because of that strap that really you can't take off there, and I really don't want to unbolt it. But you guys can see you have the sword there on the back of the case. Or actually, I think it's a dagger. Screw down case back on this. You have all the specs, the MTM USA there on the back. Sapphire crystal on this watch is indicated also on the back. So it does have sapphire crystal with AR coating. Go ahead and wipe the little smudge off I just got there on the watch. So let's go ahead and show you guys really quick here the lighting system. I'm not even going to dim the office lights to show you this, but so you got a few different functions here on this watch. Let me see. Actually, you know what? Let me dim this one overhead light here. We can do that and show you here. Now there's the first function. Now that is just the kind of tactical blue light to light up the dial. So you can push it, once and get that to light up like that. Now if you go ahead and once you have that, you can push it twice. And you guys can see it has a strobe setting. You can shut it off there, have that on. And then it also has a flashlight on mode. So, I mean, it's a super functional watch as far as lights go and stuff like that. You can use it. Now, first thing you're going to think is it's going to eat up the battery life. And yes, it will definitely eat up the battery life. I didn't mention this is a screw-down crown for the light function. So it's going to be watertight and waterproof. And this is obviously a screw-down crown for the main time setting. But as far as the battery goes, what's really interesting about this watch, I need to set it down over here to show you guys this, but it has a charging system for it in this box. So I'm going to pause it for a second so I can get this out of here and show you guys how this part of it works. Okay guys, so now this is the charger. I didn't pull the cord out, but the cord would obviously just plug into this little section here and plug into your outlet and your wall and stuff like that. But then you're going to take your watch just like this and you're going to set it right on, now I'm not on an even surface being on this watch case, but you're going to set it right on top of there and leave it there. And there's a little green light here on the back side that will light up and let you know that your watch is fully charged and ready to go. So you don't have to plug anything into the watch. There's no breach of the case, which is great for water tightness and stuff like that. So really functional thing. You can just set this thing down. Now, obviously, how long the battery life is going to last on this watch is how often you're messing around with this. So I'm telling you guys, when you first get this watch and you're showing your buddies the flashlight functions and stuff like that, or taking it camping and stuff and using your watch as a flashlight, you better be ready to recharge it, because I'm sure with especially the bright flashlight mode and stuff like that, it's going to eat up the battery life pretty quickly, is what I'd assume. This is a lithium-ion, obviously rechargeable battery that has a estimated battery life of 10 years before you'll need to replace that. So very nice. This one has, they're calling this the gray. It does have kind of a gunmetal gray black finish to it. As you guys can see, the very fine knurling there on the side of the bezel, which is just very nicely done. It just feels super industrial, feels super sturdy. And if you guys watch the video of one of these things strapped to the tire of a Jeep, you'll understand it's going to be a super tough watch, especially with all these other functions in it. I couldn't believe it was able to survive that. So I'm going to go ahead and pause it here. Let's get this watch on my 7-inch wrist, and then we'll go out with a loom shot, guys. All right, guys, so there's the watch on my 7-inch wrist. As you guys can see, it is a big watch. It's definitely a purpose-built watch. I mean, obviously, with all those flashlight functions and stuff like that, it's kind of neat, as you guys can see, for the blue light flashlights. They kind of stick out in these little bars that light up the dial at night, which is really cool. One thing I want to mention, as I was looking at the paperwork here next to me, this is a proprietary quartz movement with the recharging system developed by MTM. So that's why I wasn't seeing Ronda or Japanese quartz. It's actually even cooler than that. This is a proprietary movement from MTM. So very awesome. So I'm going to dim the lights, guys, here, and we will go out with that classic loom shot. All right, guys, so the drill master out and ready. And even with the lighting system, they've put some wonderful loom on this watch. So unless your loom goes completely dead, I don't even see why you'd need that stealth mode for looking at the dial, but kind of cool. You can unscrew that and play with that too. So the watch has good loom and you have a lighting system on it. So isn't that wild? Never seen a watch like that, guys. And I think it's definitely cool. So let's see if I can shut it off now. There it is. All right, guys, very cool watch from MTM Special Ops. I will leave a link down below where you guys can pick up one of these watches. If you guys are into definitely mission purpose-built watches and stuff like that, or just watches with really cool features on it, this is definitely something you're going to want to add to the collection. So, all right, guys, if you liked the video, give me a thumbs up down there at the bottom. And if you've not subscribed to the OFD channel yet, please do. Please do. Thanks, guys.